I feel lucky. Having a city like Venice just an hour away by train is fantastic. And even though I've visited many times, it never stops surprising me with its beauty. When I go for a walk in search of interesting photos, I really let myself be inspired by surroundings, every little detail, every single person or movement. Taking photos while walking with friends is great. Thanks guys, and sorry if I sometimes slow you down on our walks. I love going out for street photography walks in Venice because there is always something to capture. The city is always buzzing with all the tourists as well as the locals. What's more, the atmosphere in the narrow streets is really amazing. Imagine wandering along tiny little streets and then, when you least expect it, coming up on the campi, which are genuine squares of the city of Venice. Sometimes when I go out on my street photography walks, I have a few places in mind to visit, maybe the busiest ones or those where I know I could meet more people or where there is more stuff going on. But when I'm in Venice, I often let myself be carried around by chance, by those narrow, twisting and beautiful streets. And obviously it's easy to get lost. In fact, my friends and I did just that here. But in Venice, that's actually quite alright. You'll always find another way. It was wonderful to watch these kids play football. I could feel the energy in the air. The photographs could certainly have been a bit more daring, a bit more bold, but somehow I didn't want to intrude too much and spoil the moment. Right at this very moment, you can sense my disappointment at realizing I've missed a great opportunity. This gentleman was wonderful with his walking stick, hat, and above all his very distinctive glasses. Unfortunately, I was looking at my phone for directions and I didn't manage to take the photo that I wanted. Just a quick, hasty snap. It was a shame, but you know, it happens. Let's be honest here, sometimes you just miss photos for 1,000 different reasons. Being a rush, lack of precision, or as in this case, I was actually doing something else with my hands. And so I didn't have the time to properly set up and paying attention to the composition of the image. Usually when I need to set up to be ready to shoot properly on the streets, I use f8, f11 aperture, a thousandth of a second as a shutter speed because I really want to freeze the moment. Actually, this value depends on which camera you're using. With my Fujifilm XT30 Mark II, I think that a thousandth of a second is actually good for me. And then I'd like to play with the ISO values depending on the light conditions. Venice certainly has no lacking of mask shops, and I must say they always catch my eye. The next two photos are definitely among my favorites from the day. I played around with the reflections in the shop windows to highlight the various subjects. The market in the Rialto area is truly wonderful. I think it's one of my favorite areas of Venice. You can still feel the atmosphere of days gone by. This loggia is called Pescaria and overlooks the Grand Canal and looks ancient, but it was actually only built in the 20th century, just some years ago. In any case, I find it very charming, and from a photographic point of view, there are certainly some really interesting plays of light and shadows. Walking around this city is just incredible. Every corner feels new and the photographic possibilities are endless. In the next shot, I wanted to make the most of the wonderful light filtering through some of the arches. I'd have liked to wait for someone to walk past so I could capture the shadows, but I was very lucky. The man was already there when I arrived.
beh, bello.
I've got a camera in my hand and an action cam strapped to my chest. Chances of me being stopped to take a group photo? Very high. But I'm always happy about it. I hope I lived up to expectations. I spotted this hat from distance. It was very unusual. In fact, I'm not even sure if it's a hat. This is one of those moments when I put my camera away and simply take in the view with my own eyes. This staircase is called Scala Contarini del Bovolo, and it's absolutely incredible. Did you know that Bovolo means snail in Venetian? I wonder why it's called that way. Time for a quick lunch in front of Palazzo Ducale. I'd say pretty cool. I love this particular spot, right in front of Ponte dei Sospiri. Loads of people stop here to take a selfie. I noticed the sculpture on the left and thought to myself, could I draw a parallel between the sculpted face and the face of a person? I enjoy walking around in search of moments and shots, but when I get the chance, I also love to slow down until I come to a complete stop at a suitable spot, waiting for something to happen. Usually certain places have a certain atmosphere and I'm sure I'll be able to snap a few photos. Here we are, the photo of the day. I'm often critical of my own photos, but at the same time, I'm really happy when I like them. I love the contrasts in the shot, the subject, the reflections on the water. I love everything about it. I noticed a beautiful patch of light on the wall to my right, and I really wanted to capture the silhouette of someone walking by. Venice is incredibly beautiful. It takes your breath away. And from a street photography perspective, I'm really pleased. There were lots of shots that I am genuinely happy with. What's more, being surrounded by so much beauty is amazing and definitely provides extra inspiration. I always recommend, if you can, that you visit this incredible city and, above all, that you bring along the people you love. Thanks, guys.